Ladycat Soccer. Let's go out to Gerald Prim Stadium, where tonight's game will be called by KSST Sports Director Don Julian and Coach Alexi Upton. Guys?
James Terry, thank you very much. And right now, Coach Neal next to us is getting ready to introduce both teams, and let's join him.
Tonight's lineup for Lindale Eagles. Number 1, Marianne Casanita. Number 2, Bailey Inlow. Number 3, Annie Barr. Number 4, Sophia Ray. Number 5, Braylee Flickinger. Number 7, Emily Davis. Number 9, Emma Paulsworth. Number 10, J.C. White. Number 11, Cameron Malone. Number 12, Destiny Lever. Number 14, Kayla Daughtry. Number 16, Bailey Daughtry. Number 17, Haley Vigor. Number 18, Cassandra Hartman. Number 20, Bethany Rock. Number 21, Sylvia Ramirez. Number 22, Lily Bryant. Number 24, Brianna Vigor. Head coach, Christian Larson. Assistant coach, Riley Cooper. Assistant coach, Pam Price. Now for the lineup for your Sulphur Springs Ladycats. Number 1, McKenna Gamble. Number 2, Bailey Arrington. Number 3, Caitlin Robertson. Number 4, Jackie Esparza. Number 5, Ashley Noe. Number 6, Vanessa Laura. Number 8, Jasmine Olvera. Number 9, Haley Robinson. Number 10, Allie Stevens. Number 11, Lois Rocha. Number 12, Anna Irving. Number 13, Shelby McCormick. Number 14, Janine Yamaguchi. Number 16, Keely Hudgens. Number 17, Erica Van Denton. Number 18, Brooke Harden. Number 20, Jennifer Lopez. Number 22, Chloe Jones. Head coach, Joel Bailey. Assistant coach, Ross Hick. And athletic trainer, Tammy Carroll.
Sorry.
Now, would you please stand and remove your hats as we honor our nation with the playing of our national anthem.
And that's the national anthem, introduction of both teams, and Alexi Upton with us. Very cold evening. In fact, Alexi could have been playing tonight, but you guys decided that you'd rather take a pass and try tomorrow when it's going to be, what, 20 degrees, a little warmer?
Yeah, the low for tomorrow is only 41. That's good. It's a good deal warmer than it's supposed to be tonight, so we were just going to take that and we're going to try to go with it that way.
As a player, what's the worst weather you ever remember?
I played in Terrell, I want to say my junior year, and it was just raining so bad. It was borderline sleet. It was coming down as sleet. and it was really cold. I don't know exact weather or temperature, but it was just really cold. Our keeper had to go into the locker room at halftime and try to warm up his hands with hot water because his hands were starting to get purple. So it was bad.
That sounds like Andy Holt. I asked him one time, and he said it not only was that rain and sleet, but it was the wind was blowing it right in his face. You know, when he'd run and, you know, and everything. That just has to be horrible. We've got some of the hardiest fans that you can ever imagine down below us here. As they came out here, of course, they know what to expect. And one of them I recognize, Landry Tyson, is down there supporting Ladycat soccer here tonight. So Landry's down there, and he's got that big Letterman's jacket on. But still, it is that wind will just cut right through you tonight. What do you expect out of this one, Coach?
This is a great opportunity for the girls. They sit at 5 points. T-High's at 3, they're at 5. Greenville is at 6, and Lindale's at 7. So at 3 points here and getting a win really puts them into third place and puts them where they want to be, and you know exactly where they're going into postseason. So you know maybe a slow start, maybe a rough start to the year, but they get a win here, and then next thing you know you're third place and you're looking good and feeling good. So.
Yeah, they turned that Greenville game around where they lost 3-0 over in Greenville. They won here at the Prim 3-1.
Yeah.
And they lost to Lindale just 1-0. That was in the Tyler Junior College field that you'll be on tomorrow night. And then now here they are at the Prim, and a good chance to turn this one around. And we've got Erica Van Bentham back. It's always good to see her back there in the defense. We have not seen her play this year, or even in much volleyball either, as she's had those wonky ankles that have really given her a hard time this year.
I don't think she's not out there right now, but I think she's healthier. She's been at practice and tending, so hopefully she can maybe get some minutes in and see where she.
That'd be nice. That would be nice. Lady Cats obviously won the toss, and they will be putting the ball in play first. And here comes Lindale out onto the field here at Gerald Prim Stadium. We have Ladycat soccer here, and we certainly appreciate Coach Kristen Parson for approving our live video stream tonight, going all the way back into Lindale. So we hope we have some of those folks in Lindale watching us as the ball goes into the Ladycats' end, and they put it into play on the far touch line. And Ladycat still under control right now, and they'll kick it back into the defense. Goes back there to Brooke Harden, kicks down the field, but into the Lindale defense, and they thunder it down the field. Brooke working it again. Brooke got a goal in a recent game where she kind of snuck up from the defense and put the ball in the net. And here come the Lady Eagles. They kick across the field. And a foul. Looked like that might have been on against one of the, the victim was a Ladycat there, so a free kick coming up at the just 5 yards from the midline. And a kick on the far side of the field for the Ladycats, and they send it down the field. Yamaguchi with the left foot sends it down toward Caitlin Robinson. And Lindale now has it back in their defense, working it up the field. Hard to handle that high ball there, but Yamaguchi did the best she could. There's a throw in by Lindale. Just underway here from Gerald Prim Stadium, a 5:30 start, usually when the JV's out there, but wanted to just get one in tonight before it got too terribly cold with this sun going down and everything. Ladycats to the right of the 18-yard box, and still in bounds. The Ladycats trying to do something with it. A kick, a Ladycat had a shot on it, but kicked it to the right of the goal. And be a goal kick for the Lady Eagles of Lindale. This is the third time we've done some video streaming with Lindale involved. We did it in basketball season and for boys soccer. for that game that they played here at the Prim. We appreciate Alexi was instrumental in helping us get that done, having some conversations with the coach.
Had to work some deals for y'all, but I got it done.
Oh, man, we haven't even seen those yet.
Yeah.
And here comes Lindale on the attack, but the Lady Cats will clear the ball to the side and goes across the far touchline. Should be a Lindale throw-in, fairly deep in Lady Cats territory.
That was back when they had that basketball game for the playoff. So we worked kind of a deal to switch all those games up so we could get y'all.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, they were playing Royce City, and you changed, flip-flopped the times so that they could, fans could
see both.
Go to the soccer game and also go and see Lindale versus Royce City, which Lindale did win that, by the way, and got into the 4th spot in the playoffs. So congratulations to them. They have a fine young coach. It was a delight for me to meet him. He was just a wonderful fellow. And it'll be, looks like a corner coming up here for Lindale. It looks like Emily Davis. I believe I got that. Yes, that is correct. That's Emily Davis. The corner kick for the Lady Eagles. It's out in front, and it's they're trying to get a foot on it. Lindale did, but directed it to the right of the goal. The Lady Cats just really had it clogged up in there, Coach.
Yeah, good job by the Lady Cats to get it out and get it out of danger. There was a lot of bodies and a lot of things going on there, so good for
It just takes one of those white jerseys to kind of find their way to the front, and if that ball comes to them, they just kick it right in. Goal kick for the Lady Cats. Gamble will take this. And McKenna Gamble with a kick out of there, or Gamble, I should say, up to Yamaguchi. Sends it down the right side. And the Lady Cats down the
Bailey.
field.
Oh.
Bailey Arrington, you were hollering at, or hollering with, or giving her some encouragement there. Ball goes out of bounds.
She did a great job just taking the space, taking what they're giving her, and tried to find some Wildcats, but didn't really work out for her.
Allie Stevens throwing that ball in to Arrington. Now the ball knocked across the far touchline, and it'll go back to Lindale now, and they throw the ball in. And that goes out of bounds right into the Lindale bench area. Throw in for the Lady Cats again, Stevens. And that was put up. Oh my, it stuck up there in the seats. It usually rolls down, but that thing stuck. All this cold air may make those balls lose a little bit of air, and that just stuck right in the stands. They're going to have to get a little help from one of the Lindale bench players as Joel Bailey fires another soccer ball.
Nice throw, Joel.
Yeah.
Beautiful throw.
Have one of those former Wildcats soccer players. The ball on the far touchline. That was kicked off of a Lindale player, and Stevens will now throw it in on that far side. 0-0, 34-12 left here in the first half. And 0-0. These two teams only had one goal between the two. There was a Lindale foul. And out about 39 yards now, the Lady Cats will have a free kick, and Stevens comes down to take it and punches it down toward the goal. And that's Keely Hudgens over there, and now the ball kicked across the far touchline. Throw in for the Lady Cats, and Stevens will take that. Ball was coming right at her, so didn't have to waste much time there. And now Stevens with a throw in toward the edge of the 18-yard box. Nice header by Lindale there. Yamaguchi with the left foot kicks it down there. Oh, there's a collision with the keeper, and then the ball squirted out of bounds. Officials let everything go there, and no harm, no foul, and it'll be a goal kick for Lindale.
That's the kind of things the Wildcats have to do, you know, just put the ball in the mix and see what happens and try to get chances, and they did a really good job right there.
Yeah, that was that could have been trouble there. And now the ball goes across the near touchline here, and they'll say Lady Cats get to throw it in here. So Brooke Harden will toss in for the Lady Cats. There's Brooks' throw in, headed but backwards for Lindale. Lady Cats pressing the issue. And Lindale kicks it down the near touchline. Lady Cats defense back. Oh, but Lindale got around there. Have a player moving into the edge of the box. Will kick. Lady Cats direct it to the side and kick it up the field. Good job on defense of getting that out of harm's way. Yamaguchi will kick to the middle.
Good. Keep going.
Ashley Noe, I believe, on the far side there for the Lady Cats. Coming in. Arrington again. Arrington putting on that cross-country speed there, but then ball got out ahead of her and across the end line. Goal kick for the Lady Eagles. 32 minutes left here in the first half. And Lindale 0, Lady Cats 0 here from Gerald Prim Stadium on a cold afternoon. Here come the Lady Eagles. That's Sylvia Ramirez. And Sylvia on the move for Lindale. Kicks it. It's going to go across the line for the 18-yard box and right into the hands of Gamble back there for the Lady Cats. She'll punt it out of there. Looks like Lindale has the advantage of a rather strong breeze here in the first half. And a player knocked down, and that'll be a foul on the Lady Cats, and a free kick coming up for the Lady Eagles. And there's a strong kick down the field, of course buoyed by what must be at least a 20-mile-an-hour wind, I would think. Ball to the left of the big box down there now. Lindale could not keep it in bounds, and that'll be a goal kick for Gamble and the Lady Cats. Under 31 to play here in the first half, and Gamble will actually kick it out toward Brooke Harden. And she sends it down the field to Caitlin Robinson out to the middle toward Yamaguchi.
There you go.
Yamaguchi takes it away. On the move. Kicks it down the field. Broken up by the Lindale defense. Good play there by Braylee Flickinger. Ball on the kind of the far side of the field. Kicked toward the goal. Lady Cats come back and play it close to the far touch line, but Lindale still on the attack here, maneuvering down. Lady Cats trying to break it up. Here's a kick. It'll go again into the box and roll right to Gamble. With about 30 minutes left here in the first half, 0-0. There's the throw out to Caitlin Robinson. Heads back to Ashley Noe. Gets it over to Arrington. And Lady Cats down the field with the ball. Now a couple of players slipped and fell, and Lindale kicked it back into the Lady Cats defensive end. Brooke Harden. And knocked out of bounds by Lindale. That's Kayla Daughtry. There's a couple of Daughtries on this team. And there's the throw in by Harden. Comes down to Caitlin Robinson. Still mixing it up in there, but here's Lindale on the attack again. Sylvia Ramirez works it over to a teammate here, Cameron Malone. Broken up by the Lady Cats. See if they can keep it in bounds. Just do. Harden rolls it down the field. And the Lady Cats maneuvering up to the middle and then kick deep. Chase his own. Keeley Hudgens will get there first. Keeley settling that ball down, trying to work around a defender, continuing to work and also trying to find a teammate, and kicks that ball out. But the Lindale defense got there first and kicked it up closer to the midline. Stevens will pick it up before it goes out of bounds and continue to work that far touch line. Comes back to Keeley Hudgens. And now she'll send it toward the defense, but taken away by Lindale. Lady Eagles down the field. And they continue to maneuver toward the goal, but broken up by the Lady Cats. Noe sent it back near the midline. Yamaguchi got a header on a ball that was kicked in her direction. Now the ball on the far touchline with Lindale trying to get something going here. Lady Cats putting up some good defense. Lady Cats will have a throw in against Stevens. 27:48 left here in the first half, 0-0. And Lindale has the ball on the far touchline. And about halfway into Ladycat territory, and a foul on the play on the Ladycats, and be a free kick coming up. Almost right on that far touchline, and out probably, I would think, about 40 yards. The official will make them that ball. I think the sheer force of the wind blew it down about 10 yards, and official will move it back on them. A substitution for Lindale. A new player coming in there. And here's the kick on the from the far touchline out toward the middle of the field. Ladycats have control and coming out of their defensive end in a hurry here. Trying to continue to control the ball there. That is Haley Robinson.
Yep.
And Haley rolls it over to
oh, there she goes. She's in.
Caitlin Robinson.
Yep, there it is. Finish.
And it looks like she's in onside. The kick to the right of the goal. Was that Hudgens on the kick, I believe?
Yes, sir.
Had a good opportunity. I bet she'd like that one back. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. She needs to maybe take a touch there and take her time. She kind of rushed it.
So a goal kick now for the Lady Eagles. And we can really hear the thump of that ball today. Yep. Doug's and Mike working very well. Like when we used to open the windows in the old Prim. Here's
there
a
it
kick
is.
right out in front and just directed to the right of the goal. It went off of, I think that was Haley Robinson. And it just trickled. Haley's still right in that goal mouth there, but that just trickled to the right of the goal there. Or that's maybe a 3 instead of a 9. Yeah, that was, got my Robinsons mixed up. That was Caitlin Robinson. Here's a corner kick. It hit the post and right out in front, kicked toward the keeper, and she was just right in the right spot. The Ladycats put it on goal, but right there the keeper was up to the task. And she thumps it out of there, goes across the midline. And Lindale on the attack, moving in now. That is Kayla Daughtry. And kicked it. Gamble got a hand on it, and it directed it to the left of the goal. And looks like a goal kick. As Lindale 2 in and 2 out here. On a day like this, Coach, I would think if you're a player, you want to be playing, running around, getting a little warm rather than sitting on that bench over there.
Yeah, we have shelters, so, that helps the wind a little bit. But, yeah, I agree with you 100%. You're going to want to get out there, get moving, and not think about how cold it is.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of times these players, they get involved in a game, and it didn't dawn on them maybe until some point when they're resting or they stop, just how cold. Maybe at halftime, you realize. Throw in for the Ladycats. Lindale has it on the foot of Bethany Rout. Ladycats now get it. They send it to Caitlin Robinson.
There it is.
Robinson sent it. Got it all the way through. Hudgens trying to follow up on it.
There it is.
Defender Hudgens. The keeper got there just ahead of Hudgens' foot. I thought she was going to get a shot toward the goal.
Just needed a little touch.
Just kind of got tied up just enough to allow the keeper to get there. Nice kick. Lindale aided by that wind. And here come the Lady Eagles. Lady Cats will kick the ball out. I remember from watching old Southwest Conference football back in the day when you'd play one of those games on a Saturday when the wind was in your face. And when you're playing with that wind in your face, you just want it to be over so you can have that half where you have the wind and you want to minimize the damage of how many points the other team can score. So soccer, I'm sure, the same way. Right now, the Lindale probably pressure on a little bit to try to score with the wind, and the Lady Cats just hold them. Here's Stevens with a free kick after a foul for the Lady Cats. Lindale kicks it up the field. Here comes Yamaguchi, and she sends it toward the goal on one big hop right to the keeper. And goal kick for Lindale. Kept that ball low. And off of Noe, sends it to the side over there to Arrington. Rolls it back to Ashley Noe. And Ashley got away from Lindale defender and then kicked it right off of another one. Yamaguchi got by a defender. Kicks with the right foot. The chase is on down there. Keely Hudgens, blocked by the keeper. It looked like if she could have slid that right by the keeper, it could have been home free, but...
Got to take advantage of our chances. You're going to get a bunch, and you've got to start putting them away, or you're going to leave Lindale in this game, and then they're going to grab theirs when they get it.
Boy, we hear you coaches all the time talking about, did we have the opportunities, and just didn't take advantage of them.
Yeah, they'll come back to bite you if we're not putting them away, and we've had a good 3 or 4 already in this game.
Stevens throws the ball in, then Lindale kicks it back, going to go back across the far touchline. Another throw in by Stevens into the edge of the box. And whistle blows, and violation on the Ladycats, a foul actually, and a free kick coming up for the Lady Eagles from just an 18-yard box, and up the field it goes. Lindale sends it further down the field, broken up by the Ladycats, but Lindale continues to put the pressure on, and it's directed to the far sideline. Will roll across the touchline, throw in for Lindale's Lady Eagles. Back in our district, it's been seemed like quite a few years since we've had Lindale. There's a throw in. It's an edge of the 18-yard box. Ladycats have a defender over there now kicked, and Gamble makes a nice catch. Nobody really from Lindale in the neighborhood, but you just never know who's lurking about. Ball comes up the field to Haley Robinson. Toward Caitlin Robinson. And Lindale moves it down the field. Ladycats applying the defense. There's Yamaguchi. Kicks to the far sideline. And Arrington trying to get that ball and go. Getting tied up pretty good by a Lindale defender. Now it squirts across the far touchline and out of bounds on the Ladycats. Throw in for Lindale. 0-0. About 20-30 left to go here in the first half. Lindale, a left-footed kick, and that went back behind the net. No way to sneak it in back behind that net. We have a big hole back there. I think the officials probably walk around and check to make sure there are not any holes in that net. That's probably part of the standard check of a field.
Yeah, they do. I don't think you could get away with that. And there's millions of people watching. I don't think that.
That's right.
There's plenty of people watching to know that didn't go in.
And the kick up the field. And the Ladycats have it. They'll send it over to Arrington. Back to the center of the field. And nice footwork there by the Ladycats. And they'll kick it down toward Hudgens, who's really been a threat. No, Hudgens around the defender, moving with the right foot, but right at the keeper there. That keeper had good position there to that ball right at her, and now she'll punt it out of there. Yamaguchi off of her foot. Now she started to chase and just realized that was going out of bounds. Right over close to Tammy Carroll there, the head trainer, watching the action from her training table there, hoping that she stays unbusy today. And Joel Bailey
getting some touches in.
Keeping that ball in place, and here comes Lindale for a throw-in. They had some subs. This is Cameron Malone, and Malone a throw-in down toward that Daughtry. Now out of bounds off the Ladycats. That Daughtry's Kayla Daughtry. There's also a Bailey Daughtry. And a throw-in for Lindale now from Emma Bosworth. And Kayla Daughtry, that kick well to the left of the goal, and it's going to roll all the way across the far touchline.
I'll tell you what, Lindale hasn't been super threatening, but number 14, Kayla Daughtry, she's
looks like a good player, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's had some chances here and there. We need to just keep track of her and make sure she's marked up.
Yeah, she looks like a threat.
Mm-hmm.
I'd noticed the same thing. She's getting around defenders and making some stuff happen. Here's a ball for the Ladycats right now. They have it. Haley Robinson kicks it up to Arrington. Arrington maneuvering down the field, and then the Lindale defense stepped up. They'll kick it to the midline. It goes to Sylvia Ramirez. Broken up by the Ladycats defense. But Lindale gets it back. Again, Ramirez has it on that far touchline over there and rolls across the touchline. Last touch by Lindale. Throw in. Whoop, they reversed themselves. Either that or I misread that call. Lindale now moving it toward the center. There's a kick. It went to the left of goal. That was partially blocked. And again, that Kayla Daughtry we were talking about. And this is going to set up a corner here.
Corner kick for the Eagles.
These corners are big opportunities, aren't they, Coach?
Absolutely. They're kind of just, throw something into the pot and see what you can cook. You just kind of put it in the mix and you hope you get bounces or knocks or touches or just something on the ball and put it in the net.
All right, corner kick for the Lady Eagles. It's on the far side over there. And here's the kick on the way and hit the side of the net. Goal kick for the Lady Cats. No, they're going to redo the corner kick. It was out of bounds off the Lady Cats, so another corner kick coming. I believe this is Haley Bigger. I believe that's it's either a 7 or a 17.
7.
That's 7. Okay, that's another player. Here's a kick right out in front, and good play by Gamble there to be in the right spot. That corner kick by Emily Davis. She was there before. Down to Keely Hudgens at the midline, over to Arrington. Arrington maneuvering it down, but broken up by Lindale. 16:25 left here in the first half. 0-0 between these two clubs. As they've this is the third half that they've played, and only one goal between the two of them. Lindale got that at TJC to win 1-0. And here's a kick, a long kick toward the goal. Gamble will take this on several hops. 16 minutes left here in the first half. 0-0 here from Gerald Prim Stadium. It's cold outside. Ball moves across the near touchline, out of bounds. Throw in for Lindale. Throw in now for Cameron Malone. Harden moves it back into the defense off of Yamaguchi. Lindale's got it. They'll kick toward the middle. Good defense, anticipating that coming up and getting to the ball, but now Lindale's got it back, and they press the issue. Lady Cats tried to break it up. Lindale with a shot, kind of a sliding shot. Either that or she slipped as she kicked, and taken by Gamble up to the task. I don't think either keeper has really been sorely tested. They've had some interesting shots right on goal, and they've been in good positioning. And that's a lot of it. If you position yourself well, you can really make it a lot easier on yourself.
Absolutely.
Ball on the far touchline. That's Arrington over there mixing it up with a couple of Lady Eagles, out of bounds off of the Lady Eagles, and throw in for Lady Cats. Stevens got it in. It's on that far touchline. Yamaguchi. And Lindale kicks it up near the midline. Lady Cats have it back. And they'll send it to Haley Robinson. Kicks it toward Hudgens, who's really had some good chances in the early going. Try to get it out toward the middle to Haley Robinson there. And Lindale trying to work it out of their defensive end. And now they'll get a strong kick up the field off of Kayla Daughtry, and Daughtry on the move. And Lady Cat's defense intervenes there and takes the ball away. Daughtry still pursuing that ball, though. And she's maneuvering down the field. Will kick with the left foot out toward the middle. The Lady Cats direct it to the side. And the Lady Cats have the ball, but Kayla Daughtry is really pursuing that ball. And here's a right-footed kick off of a Lady Cat defender. Ooh, that was close to the goal post there, but Gamble had it covered. And there's Gamble's kick out of there. Takes a nice bounce. Nice header for the Lady Cats. Now Lindale will kick it down the field. That'll go across the near touchline. Throw in for Lady Cats. It'll be Harden, Brooke, and Brooks throw in to Yamaguchi. Got past her, and Lindale's got it and on the attack. That's Kayla Daughtry back to the center of the field. Lindale settling it down. Good back checking by the Lady Cats. But Lindale continues to control the ball. It's over on the far touchline. Running into the sunshine temporarily, and then the ball heads across the
Bet you feels good over there.
Far touchline. You think you could feel that for just a second?
Yeah, just for a bit. Get you a little warmth for a bit.
Well, Joel was talking about how that their dugout was in the shade.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying Lindale would be looking into the sun, but I don't think that lasted very long tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the shade too, so it's all cool out here. She may sit there and out in the sun, take about 20 seconds to throw that ball in. Did not do that. Yamaguchi up the field. Works it over to a teammate there.
There
and
it is.
Back to Yamaguchi. Lady Cats have some players breaking out. Yamaguchi coming in from the right side of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Kicks it out toward the middle. Got a player, Hudgens, right on the doorstep. Back out to Yamaguchi. Tried to settle it down. Got a left foot on it, but the Lindale defense kicked it out of there. Comes up the field. Lady Cats continue the pressure. Ooh, a kick off of one of the Lady Eagles. To the right side of the box. Here's a kick, and it hit the football goal post. That'll make that ends play right there. Makes it a dead ball. Too bad, because Lady Cats had a player right out in front, was ready to line that up and put it in the goal, but heard that whistle.
Yeah, definitely threatening. Some Lady Cats were in the attack and got into the mix, and that's good. Threatening and starting to create some chances, especially against the wind.
Yeah, I think they've had the better of it.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, if you're going to judge, you know, who's kind of controlled and had the opportunities, and I think so far so good for Joel's bunch. Ball out to the middle of the field, directed to the far side, back to Allie Stevens, one of the captains. And it's kicked back to a defender back there. And back to Stevens. Stevens moving it up the field, finally gets pressed and sent it further down the field. Lindale trying to get control, went off of one of their players out of bounds, but they say the Lady Cats touch it last and throw in for Lindale. They toss it in. And here's that Kayla Daughtry. And they work a play for her into the box, and whistle blows, and must have been an offside play. So a goal kick coming up for the Lady Cats at 10:30 here in the first half. We're 0-0 here from Gerald Prim Stadium. You know, it's hard enough in a soccer match to score a goal, but I would think when this kind of temperature that a 1-0 lead would just seem even bigger in these conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some factors come into play, and especially when it's cold or it's rainy, you know, if you can just grab a goal and get a lead, it just feels that much better than if it was a nice sunny day, because you've braced those conditions and you're like, oh, sweet, we got to go. Now let's just play and let's try to win a game.
Yeah, I can't imagine a 5-3 game, you know, under these conditions. I guess anything can happen.
Yeah.
If the teams are good enough and they're making the plays, and get out there in any kind of conditions. But ball on the far touchline right now. Lindale had it, kicked back to the Lady Cats, but Lindale gets it back now, trying to get some offense going. They'll work on that far touchline. And player maneuvering out a little bit more toward the center of the field. Taken away, though, by the Lady Cats. Good defense there to Yamaguchi. And sends it, and they send it further down to Haley Robinson. Trying to get it down to Keely Hudgens. A good right-footed kick, but sent it to the left of the goal. I think she was trying to sneak it in, maybe past that keeper just inside that left post, but got a little bit too much of it. And substitution by Lindale, another coming in.
Once again for Sulphur Springs, I mean, really creating some chances and looking good. Just got to do more with the chances that they're given. Got to put those away when you have them. That's a really great chance there.
Here's a goal kick by the Lady Eagles.
Good job.
Goes off of Caitlin Robinson. Over to Hudgens. Now it's back to Noe. Ashley Noe with a right foot. There's a player breaking in. She rolled it. Just couldn't settle it down. Might have been a bouncing high ball there that was hard to control. But just looked good, and then just couldn't get much on the kick. And Lindale was able to survive that. Ball on the near side here. Lady Cats have it. Harden. And little holding penalty there on Lindale, and free kick for the Lady Cats. And Brooke Harden will actually take it here.
Girls are definitely looking good, definitely creating their chances, definitely keeping the ball, definitely the dangerous of the two teams, but got to put some chances away.
Here's Yamaguchi. Sounds like a coach talking there. There's a kick by the Lady Eagles. Again, Kayla Daughtry.
Yep, there's the
She's
danger.
on the move. Lady Cat's defense, she drew about 3 quick defenders, and they got the ball back. They'll kick it up the field, but Lindale's going to get it again, and here they come on the attack. Kicked down the field, rolls into the box area, and the player will just, or the Lady Cats will just escort it right out of bounds there for a goal kick.
Goal kick, Lady Cats.
Kind of shielding players away from the ball. Not that they were giving it a big run, but did that okay to get the goal kick here for the Lady Cats. Just over 7 to play here in the first half. 0-0. Lindale's Lady Eagles and the Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs. District soccer, two of these teams that would just love 3 points tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big 3. You know, we've kind of got we've got Royce City, first of all, and they're just kind of head and shoulders, it appears, above everybody. And then you've got Mount Pleasant. After that, it's kind of wide open. Here comes a kick, and it's just to the left of the goal. Boy, that was a solid chance there.
Yeah, that was beautiful by Haley Robinson. She beat a couple defenders, had the chance, and just a little wide.
Yeah, she's got to be among the leading scorers for the Lady Cats. I really have not seen their stats, but her name does come up often in scoring, and
she's so
would
creative.
not be surprised. Yamaguchi, who had a goal in the last game for the Lady Cats, gets it over to Allie Stevens. Stevens, the ball on that far touchline. The Lady Cats trying to come out of there with it, but Lindale kicks it up the field, but comes up to Ashley Noe, and Ashley sends it to the center, but Lindale kicks it down the field into the Lady Cats defense. And they send it down to Haley Robinson. And Robinson gets it back and maneuvering down the field, but taken away from her. Now with Lindale, Sylvia Ramirez. Seen her with the ball quite often here for Lindale as she maneuvers down the field. Fighting her way through defenders, but now taken away by the Lady Cats. And Noe will kick it toward Hudgens again. Hudgens on the move. The way Hudgens is playing, I can just see her getting 1 or 2 tonight.
Absolutely. She's definitely had some chances. She's making the good runs, and she's getting the chances. She's just got to finish her chances.
Ball was kicked across the touchline, and Allie Stevens has got to make the 60-yard dash here to throw that ball in. And so Stevens on the throw in now. 4:54, all that's left here in the first half. 0-0. The ball into the edge of the 18-yard box.
Keep it in.
Lady Cats trying to get control. They kick it out. Stevens kicks it toward the center, but comes out of there, and Lindale will kick it down the field. Ashley Noe has it. And Ashley kicked it further down the field. Now Kayla Daughtry got to it. There's a header by a Lady Cat. That's Jasmine Olvera. And Olvera will kick to the far side over to Allie Stevens.
Great job, Jasmine.
And down the field it comes again. Hudgens. Hudgens kicks toward the center off of Lady Eagle. And they send it further back in their defense. Kick it down the field. Went off of Yamaguchi. And here comes Lindale again. Cameron Malone. Malone right up the middle, kicks it down the field, and it'll go into the box, and Gamble will pick that up right ahead of Kayla Daughtry. There's the throw out to Allie Stevens for the Lady Cats. Sends it to the center to Ashley Noe. Her kick off of a Lindale player who now has control, kicks it down the field. There's Olvera, and gets it over to Yamaguchi, and down off of Caitlin Robinson. And Haley Robinson was waiting to try to get the ball, but Lindale got it. Had some nice passing going, but the Lady Cats break it up and send it down the field now. And this is Haley Robinson. Robinson into the center, time and space, but kick kind of squirted off the foot. But a Lady Cat comes down, thunders the ball toward the net, but it went to the side and the back of the net. I think that was Arrington. 3 minutes, all that's left here in the first half. We're 0-0 here from Gerald Prim Stadium. Lindale Lady Eagles and the Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs. 2 in and 2 out for the Lady Eagles, as they have really kind of shook up their roster. They've they've had a lot of players in and out, giving them all a little bit of time to get used to these conditions here tonight. Ball on the far touchline. There's Stevens with a strong kick for the Lady Cats. Right into that Lindale defense. 2:34 left here in the first half. Yamaguchi got it down the field and comes over to Caitlin Robinson, down to Haley Robinson, and she turns and shoots, and that went to the left of the goal. She had a little bit of time and space to get off a shot, but that headed left.
Yeah, she's definitely having her chances, same as Keeley, and one of these two's got to find the back of the net for the Cats.
And goal kick now for the Lady Eagles.
2 minutes.
Kicked up near the midline. Got that 2-minute announcement from Coach Neal, who used to be athletic trainer Neal, and he may have been a coach before that, seemed like, but he's coaching now over in middle school. Here come the Lady Eagles. Kayla Daughtry maneuvering past some defenders, finds a teammate on the left coming in from the left side of the box. Stevens trying to get over there on defense. Back to Daughtry. Tried to work it back to her teammate and kicked it across the end line. And I believe goal kick for the Lady Cats with just 1:15 all that's left here in the first half. 0-0 from Gerald Prim Stadium. And Gamble with the kick. And she will send it over to Stevens. 1 minute. 1 minute left here in the first half. Out to Ashley Noe. And kicked across the field in the direction of Brooke Harden. She sends it over toward Haley Robinson. And the Lady Eagles trying to get something going here. Lady Cats have played good defense, have not given them a lot of opportunities. Ball up around the midline. Lindale with a strong kick. Goes off of Olvera. And she sends it down to Caitlin Robinson. Over to Yamaguchi. Broken up by Lindale. Back to Yamaguchi. She finds a little space there and will kick across the field toward Ashley Noe. Noe trying to get around the defense, and Lindale got it back. Just 11 seconds, all that's left. It'd be hard to put it in the net right now. And Brooke Harden trying to keep it in bounds. And out of bounds it goes off Lindale. And that's going to do it for the first half. 0-0. And first half scoreless between Lindale Lady Eagles and the Sulphur Springs Lady Cats. Well, let's get an expert's viewpoint here from a head coach here, Alexi Upton. And you just watched the first half. Coach, what did you see as far as the two teams interacting and who's kind of under control after the first half?
Absolutely great from the Wildcats. Defensively, keep track of 14. Kayla Daughtry, I believe. Kayla Daughtry.
Yeah.
That's the danger woman for Lindale. Sulphur Springs wise, just keep doing your thing. Finish your chances. I mean, there was a good 8 to 10 chances in us for the first half, and you got to finish them off though. You can't make a million and not put any of them away. So.
Yeah, if you had to choose an outstanding team based on what we just saw, you would have to think the Lady Cats kind of had a little bit of the better of it. Obviously, neither team put it in the net or really had too many serious chances, but the Lady Cats had more that good, solid goal-scoring chances that just for one reason or the other, the ball squirted one side of the goal or the other.
Yeah, just make the most of the chances, but they're right where they want to be. They're controlling the game, and they took the damage of having to go against the wind in the first half, so now they have some wind. That factor always plays into play, so good opportunity for them in the second half to go grab a win.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Joel makes some adjustments and see how he approaches the second half based on what he saw in that scoreless first half. So we are at the half here from Gerald Prim Stadium. Lindale Lady Eagles 0 and the Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs 0 in district soccer. Alexi Upton along with Don Julian here, and we're certainly glad to have Alexi and glad that he and Joel both volunteered to come in here and help with the broadcast of the other team, and neither one has any kind of fear that they're going to be eaten alive by the other by the other coach, pointing out some shortcomings or whatever like that. Both coaches very supportive of each other, and it's great to have both of them in the booth. And we've got Alexi Upton here tonight as Joel Bailey's down there coaching. And he'll probably be vice versa sometime when he gets a chance when Alexi's down there on the sideline.
Next week.
Yeah, that's right. Some opportunities coming up. We are at halftime, scoreless tie, and let's take a break here, and we'll come back and talk more soccer right after this break. And again, it's Sulphur Springs 0 and Lindale 0 in district soccer. Back in a moment. Ladycats coming back out on the field, and looks like pretty much who we saw during the first half. Shelby McCormick's back there on defense, Olvera, Ashley Noe, and Gamble in the goal.
You can definitely tell it's cold. We're seeing now more and more some girls, covering their hands and hands between their legs. And
well, they just got out of that warm locker room.
Yeah, that probably we don't go to the locker room at halftime. But
well, I think I would turn the heat off or do something because it's just it's stark, But at the same time, I'm not sure I'd want my athletes to have to soak up another 10 or 15 minutes of this cold, by staying out on the field.
We went in the locker room one time and we came out in the second half flat. So I was like, nope, we're not doing that ever again.
Yeah, I've seen you a lot of times. You'll keep the team around the field, where you'll go back behind the goal or something around the scoreboard and just kind of meet with them there. And I think if that's a good plan a lot of times. Lindale will start with the ball here in the second half as they send it down the field. And again, Daughtry, we were talking about her, and here she comes trying to get between defenders. Ball, Olvera broke that up and went across the far touchline. It'll be a throw-in for the Lady Eagles. Just underway here in the second half, 0-0 here from Gerald Prim Stadium. And Lindale starts with kind of a little bit of a threat going here as they're in the Ladycats' end. Ladycats trying to break that up. Here's a kick toward the edge of the 18-yard box, a high header there. And kicked out of there by the Ladycats, but the Lady Eagles continue to have it. They look like they're pressing down a little bit more. There's a shot. Gamble able to get to it. Not sure that was going to be on goal, but it's hard to tell exactly from this angle, but made a good play there to get to that. Sends it down to Allie Stevens. Stevens to Arrington. Arrington's got one of those braces on the right leg. And the ball goes out of bounds. Throw in for the Ladycats again, Allie Stevens. She and Harden, a couple of the captains for the Ladycats. And Yamaguchi's got it for the Ladycats. Kicks it down the field off of a Lindale player. The Ladycats keep it alive. And it's kicked toward the middle of the field, and Lindale got there to it, kicks it down the field. Yamaguchi comes down with it. She kicks it out front. Lindale clears it out of there. Ashley Noe puts the foot into it, went off players and deflected to the right of the goal. Goes across the end line, and corner kick for the Ladycats.
Corner kick for the Ladycats.
I think Robinson, or is this Keeley?
Keeley.
Yeah, Keeley Hudgens with the corner kick for the Ladycats.
Uh-oh.
And that one ended up back behind the net. So it will turn into a goal kick now for Lindale. From that small box right outside of the goal there. And the Lindale kick out of the goal. Comes down the field, comes to Allie Stevens. Boy, the Ladycats really pushing up now a little bit. Lindale trying to come out of there with it. They'll send it down the field toward Emma Bosworth. Ladycats intercept, and the team's trade kicks right there at the midline now. And Lindale on the attack. Bosworth again to the middle to Kayla Daughtry. Being watched closely. Back to Bosworth. Ladycats trying to break it up. That ball continuing to inch toward the goal as Ladycats can't really get control. Now there's a strong kick on the goal right to Gamble. She caught that one and just kind of fell over. You see goalkeepers do that from time to time. but had good form in catching that one, and now Gamble will kick it out of there. A nice high kick. Probably the benefit of a little bit of the breeze, but it certainly has died since we started here. Not the wind that we started with. Ball over to Allie Stevens. She couldn't quite round that ball up, and it went across the near touchline here. Throw in for Lindale. Throw in there by Destiny Lever. Gets it into Bosworth. And comes over to Sophia Ray. Now here's a kick toward the goal. Several hops into Gamble. 35-57 and counting here in the second half. 0-0 here from Gerald Prim Stadium. There's the kick out of there. Comes to the midline. Players collide. And Lindale comes out of there with the ball. There's a kick toward the center of the field. Nice play by Ashley Noe. Over to Yamaguchi. And Yamaguchi right down the middle here. Kicks it down to a teammate moving in quickly. And the ball continuing to head that way. And then Lindale cleared it to the side. And a whistle blew. Must have had an offside penalty there. And a goal kick coming up for the Eagles, or Lady Eagles. 35:05 left here in the second half. And the kick out of the goal. And Lindale's got it. Broken up by Noe. Here's Ashley Noe. Sends it over to Bailey Arrington. Arrington further down the field toward Haley Robinson. Broken up by Lindale. They'll kick to the middle, trying to come out of their defense. Do some nice passing there down to Ramirez. Ramirez on the move. And sends it over to Lever. And then Kayla Daughtry. Yamaguchi tried to take it away, but ends back on the foot there of Ramirez. Back to Kayla Daughtry. And Stevens knocks it out of there to Bailey Arrington. She rolls it up near the midline. Now back in the Ladycats end. Yamaguchi, strong kick down the field. Ladycats are chasing. Lindale's defense will get there first. It's kicked toward the middle, and Lindale's home. No Ladycats in the area, so Lindale's got it. They'll kick along that near touchline. Stevens stepped in, and going to be a foul on Lindale. Free kick for the Ladycats out about 50 yards from the goal and right near the near touchline. Joel Bailey with a bird's eye view right in front of him. Kick, ball out to the middle. Yamaguchi sends it to a teammate over there. Maneuvering in, here's a right-footed kick, a one-hopper into the keeper, and she's able to handle that. 33-13 left to go here in the second half. A 0-0 tie. Obviously, a first goal would be a huge one. Ball goes across the near touchline. And back to Lindale. Lady Eagles throw it in. Lever comes down to Noe. Over toward Yamaguchi. And Noe got it back. Doing some good footwork there. And kicking over to Arrington. Arrington trying to break past a defender, but the defender ended up with the ball on her foot. And kicks over to Sylvia Ramirez, who kicks it down the field. Nice header by the Ladycats. Comes down to Yamaguchi. And up near the midline for Lindale as they come out of the defensive end. Have a player trying to come down the right side. Now kind of maneuvering toward the middle. And now the kick on the way. Ooh, that was a tester as Gamble had to get up high on that one. That almost got over her outstretched hands there, that Kayla Daughtry kick.
Yeah, that's a great shot by Kayla Daughtry. She's obviously the danger.
Yeah, that was a tester. And Gamble up to the task there. Ladycats maneuvering down the field now with Haley Robinson. But Lindale gets there to it. And they're working the near touchline. Taken away, though, by Arrington. Rolling it back to Stevens. Sends it up to Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi kicking it down the field. Again to Haley Robinson. Haley moving to the middle of the field, trying to open up for a shot. Still trying. Now kicks it further down the field. Kicked out of there. Noe with the left foot went to a teammate. Blocked, though, by Lindale. Up to Allie Stevens. Stevens, a thundering kick toward the goal, but that's going to be to the right. As tried to see if she couldn't just thunder it in there and maybe catch that keeper half napping or something, but did not happen. 31 left. 31 minutes left here in the second half. 0-0 the score. Again, more subs for Lindale, and they have really gone through their roster, bringing players. Everybody's played for them. There's a header out there by Noe, and Ashley works hard to get that ball back. That midfielder, and works it over to a teammate over there, and Ladycat's passing it down further. There's a right-footed kick. Ladycats chase. Oh, there's a player hustling to get to that ball or try, but it went across the end line. Goal kick for the Lady Eagles at 30-13 left here in the second half. So the goal kick now for Lady Eagles. And comes down to Sylvia Ramirez. Oh, kicked it right to Yamaguchi.
Took that one.
And sends it to Arrington, and she's able to keep it in. Arrington will kick toward the center. It's headed by Lindale up the field a little bit. Ladycats Yamaguchi continuing to put on the pressure. Gets it over near Arrington. They keep it in bounds. Yamaguchi really hustling out there, Coach.
Yeah, she's working.
And gets over to Ashley Noe. It's out to the center. And they chip it down a little bit further. Lindale gets it out, but right to Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi will kick, tries a player right there on the doorstep, but a lot of Lady Eagles on defense. Taken away, though, by Arrington. She finds a teammate, turns, and tries to get it further down there. And now it's going to be cued back toward the keeper. And Lindale will send this one across the near touchline out of bounds. A throw in for the Lady Cats deep in Lady Eagles territory. Under 29 to play here in the second half. We're 0-0. It's fun to watch those hard-working players, Coach. When
absolutely. It's fun to see players like that, too, that, you know, they're not just skilled. They're going to go out there and they're just going to give you 110% and run around the field and make plays happen. Great ball.
The Stevens, right out in front, just missed a connection with a player coming in.
Joel looks like me. He's frustrated when those chances don't go in.
There's a block shot by the Lady Cats as now the ball comes out a little bit. There's a kick right out toward the edge of the box, and Lindale repels it again. Lady Cats will get there first and kick it over toward Allie Stevens. And Stevens rolls it to the middle of the field, but Lindale comes up and intercepts. And here they are on the move. They'll kick to the far side. Player trying to keep it in bounds over there. And nice little bumps. Lady Cats had it, and then Lindale took it away. Teams exchanging control. And now it ends up, Yamaguchi had it for just a second, but now here comes Lindale as they move on the far touchline. Lady Cats playing some really good defense tonight. They are just, once Lindale gets that ball, the Lady Cats are engaging them there. Throw in, though, for Lindale, out of bounds off the Lady Cats. And once again, 2 in and 2 out for, or maybe 3 in and 3 out for the Lady Eagles. Has 27-23 left here in the second half. Ball comes in for Lindale. They'll work the far side. There's a high kick just to the edge of the 18-yard box. It's kicked high in the air and will go across the end line. And goal kick for the Lady Cats and Gamble. Now that flag just sitting there now. When we started it was stretching straight out. It's still chilly out here in lower 40s. And the kick coming now for Gamble. Headed by Lindale, and they're on the attack. And here's Daughtry with a kick. Takes a couple of hops into Gamble. And Gamble will kick it. Actually, she'll fling it out of there over toward Arrington. Arrington just kept it in bounds, or did she? They'll say she did not. It crept across that yellow line, and throw in for Lindale. Another sub for the Lady Eagles before the throw in here. And here's the Lady Eagles throw in. Cameron Malone. Good play there by the Lady Cats. That's Haley Robinson. And Haley kicks it down the field. Lindale's defense will let it roll in the box where the keeper will pick it up there in front of Keely Hudgens and some racing Lady Cats. Nice low kick for Lindale. As Lady Cats, Caitlin Robinson trying to get that ball and go. She's on the far touch line over there. Finds Haley Robinson. And she works it back to Ashley Noe. And Noe will send it over to Arrington. And Bailey Arrington on the move. Kicks it to the center of the field, but Lindale got there first. A nice header by Noe. Heads over to one of her teammates. Kicking the ball further down the field. And it's on that far touch line. And now kicked in toward the goal, and Lindale will kick it across the touchline. Throw in for the Lady Cats at 24:56. 0-0 here from Gerald Prim Stadium. First goal will be a huge one. Throw in for the Lady Cats. Lindale tried to kick it out of there, went off some Lady Cats. And Lindale kicking it out of there all the way to the midline. Joel's synopsis of that first game against Lindale: we made a mistake, and they made us pay for it. Mm-hmm. And that's, boy, a coach will say that more times than not. Mm-hmm. And tonight, I guess we're still waiting for that mistake by somebody and somebody to take advantage of it.
Yep.
Now the ball across the touchline, last touch by the Lady Cats at 24-14. You just never know who's going to fill in those blanks. Mm-hmm. X made the mistake, and X made them pay.
Yep, absolutely. And you're just hoping it's not you.
Yes, yep. You certainly do. Here's a throw in. Comes down to Arrington.
Well done.
And rolls it over to Haley Robinson. Hudgens has it down there to Yamaguchi. She kicked off of a Lindale player, tried to turn and shoot, but the Lindale player had good defensive position and ended up blocking that shot. But Lady Cats will have a throw in here, relatively deep in Lindale territory at 23-34. 0-0 tie. And there's the throw in and a header right out to the middle. Lindale will kick it high in the air down the field, headed by the Lady Cats. Haley Robinson sends it down there. Player right on the doorstep, and the ball is kicked. It's squirted to the side of the goal. Looked like the keeper was down for just a second there, and then Lady Cats had some shots on it, and it ended up being deflected, and I think it will set up a corner kick here for the Lady Cats.
Keely out there to take it.
Yes, you're right.
She switched it with Bailey. Who's taking it? Who knows?
All right. Well, Bailey Arrington here on the corner kick.
Cats have got to just start putting them away. There are so many chances, and they just got to start putting them away.
Arrington will roll into a teammate. They get it back to Bailey.
Should be off. Yep.
And whistle, and we'll break that up and be a goal kick now. 22-20 left here. We've played just about 3/4 of the match here and of regulation, 0-0. Kick out of the goal by Lindale. They kicked it off of a Lady Cat.
It is. Be strong.
And the Lady Cats get control here. And they'll send Arrington down the right side. Bailey has a little bit of time and space. Kicks toward the middle, but Lindale, it's right out in front. It's still out in front. Settle down. Haley Robinson, a shot. Right at the keeper. Boy, the keeper had perfect position. I thought Haley was going to rip that one right in there, but the keeper was right there in good position. And we remain scoreless here at 21-38 here in the second half. Lindale and the Ladycats of Sulphur Springs. Ball back deep to Allie Stevens. Stevens works around a attacker and sends it down to Arrington. Kicks to the center right there to Kayla Daughtry, and Daughtry maneuvering in, trying to get a shot. Nice defense by the Ladycats to take that right off of her foot there. I think that's McCormick, and she kicks it down the field. Rolled over toward Arrington. There's some nice hustle there by Haley Robinson. Tried to get Yamaguchi going, but when Lindale broke that up, Stevens steps in again, but Lindale gets it. Here come the Lady Eagles. And deeper into Ladycats territory, the Lady Eagles kick it out in front. Nobody home there but a Ladycat, and she will kick it out of bounds. It'll go across the near touchline. Throw in for Lindale. There's a throw in by Cameron Malone. Sylvia, see, I forgot her last name. Ramirez, Sylvia Ramirez on that kick. Also getting extremely dark to see in here, and I forgot to plug in my lamp tonight. I got seduced by all that light that we had at 5:30, and here's a goal kick now. Is again more in and more out for Lindale's Lady Eagles. The clock continuing. And Lexi tried to get me a little bit of light here, but it affects Doug's camera in a very negative way. So the ball goes out of bounds on the far side. And the Ladycats will have the throw in. And there's the throw in for the Ladycats. They're in Lindale territory. They'll send it to the middle. That's Hudgens. Hudgens continuing to control that ball. And she kicks, so it went right off of Yamaguchi, but she settled it down. And here's a kick by Noe toward the goal. Oh, taken on the fly by the Lindale keeper. Kind of a arcing shot there by Ashley Noe. There's a good kick out of the goal by Lindale across the midline. Goes back to Allie Stevens. And Stevens kicks it down toward Arrington, who does a good job of controlling it. Kick to the middle, though, and Lindale takes over. They're coming down the near touchline here with the player moving in. The Ladycats had her stopped temporarily, and it ended up across the end line. Goal kick for the Ladycats. Pretty good charge there by Lindale. And Gamble kick out of the goal here from the ground, from the small box, and out of there it goes. Down toward Hudgens. Ladycats defense breaks it up. Boy, players getting into each other pretty good there. Officials letting them go. And the Ladycats have the ball. They'll kick it down the field, but right to Lindale, and they'll send a high arcing kick down that goes off Stevens. Ladycats defense trying to get it out of there. Noe kicked it off of a Lindale player right to Hudgens and back to Noe, now with the left foot. It's good to be able to use both of them. Lindale gets by one player and sends it over to the far touchline. 17:46 left here in the second half. And the Ladycats trying to come out of their own end.
Oh, there it is.
There's a deep kick. The chase is on, and Lindale got there first and directed it to the side. But the Ladycats are going to keep it in bounds. Looks like Yamaguchi moving in, but broken up by Lindale defense, and they'll kick it across the touchline to kind of reset their defense. Looks like we may have had a foul before that. Look where that official's standing. We're going to have a free kick from right there. No.
Oh, he's signaling a sub. Yeah, he's signaling a sub.
Oh, okay. It'll be a throw-in for the Ladycats. They're fairly deep in Lindale territory. Yamaguchi checks out. She has not been out much in this one.
Mm-mm.
That looks like...
Is it Jackie?
Yeah. Jackie Esparza. Here's the throw right out in front. Lindale heads it. It's still out in front, headed toward the goal by the Lady Cats. Lindale will kick it out across the near touchline now. The Lady Cats will have a throw in this time deep in Lindale territory from the near side here, and that'll be Allie Stevens. Allie with a throw in into that 18-yard box. Ball squirts back. Hudgens sends it right out in front. There's a kick toward the goal, blocked. Lindale gets it out of there, but their kick went off one of their players. Ball comes over. Arrington kicks it hard, but it goes to the left of the goal. Lady Cats will keep it in play there. They move around a defender. Player moving in closer to the goal. Comes out. It's chipped toward the goal, but blocked. Comes back to Ashley Noe. She settles it down and then thunders a kick, but it was heading to the right of the goal. And it'll be a goal kick for the Lindale keeper, and she kicks it out of there off of Stevens. And Stevens sends it over to Arrington. Arrington back towards Stevens. Could not keep it inbounds. Went across the yellow line. Throw in for Lindale. 15-22. And Coach, I'm just, it's still a little early, but I'm beginning to feel a little overtime in my bones here.
Yeah, I'm getting that sick feeling down in your gut too. 15 minutes left, and you really got to start taking your chances now because time's ticking away on you. You don't want to get into a game where people start getting tired and injured and hurt, and you're playing more minutes than you have to.
Here's a throw in by Lindale. I think Joel would like to avoid penalty kicks. He's had one of those already, and every time you play one of those, it costs you at least 1 point and maybe 2 if you don't win on the PKs.
Yep.
So coaches like to try to win when they can in either regulation or overtime, which both of those are considered a straight 3-point win.
Yes, sir.
And
yeah, got to take advantage of these next 14 minutes. Lindale looks like they're kind of just happy with maybe getting to extra time. They're not pressing as much, and you really got to try to get a goal here.
Keely Hudgens kicks it out toward the center.
There it is.
Went off to the side. Lady Cats will get there, but heavily defensed. Lindale, in fact, taking it away, kicking it up the field. Lady Cats trying to get something going, but Lindale coming out of their defensive end with it. And will kick it not quite to the midline. The Lady Cats, Noe got to it and kicks across the field to Allie Stevens. Stevens maneuvering, but ball taken off her foot by Lindale, and they'll kick it down the field. Goes back to Olvera, and Lady Cats kick it across the midline. Now back into the Lady Cats end, and Olvera again kicking it back up near the midline. But Lindale, almost on cue, as the coach was talking about, they've kind of turned up the offensive pressure. They got Daughtry in there. They stopped her, but it goes back to a teammate kicked, went off of a Lady Cat. Lindale trying to get a shot off, blocked. And a player coming up and hitting it toward the goal. Nice play by Gamble. That was another one of those little testers there where she had to kind of reach and extend, and sometimes those can be tricky. Good kick out of there by Gamble. 13:04 left here in the second half, and we're tied 0-0. Haley Robinson down the field, and the ball will be kept in bounds nicely there by Bailey Arrington. And Arrington finds Haley Robinson. And Haley really putting on some moves. Back to Bailey Arrington coming in from the right side of the box. And she kicks down toward the middle. Had player right out in front, but directed to the side. Looks like Noe coming up to get there. Trying to get it more to the center of the field, but Lindale got to it, and they'll kick the ball up the field, and here they come out of their defensive end. 12:24 left here in the second half. Lindale putting on a little bit of a charge.
Great job, Shelby.
Shelby McCormick, coach is talking about, over there on the far touchline. And ball goes out of bounds into the Lindale dugout. Last touch by the Lady Cats. Just over 12 to play here in the second half, and once again 3 in, or actually 4 in that time by Lindale, as they just continue to shuffle players in and out, keep everybody a little fresh there, and so nobody gets too dog tired out there. And here comes Lindale on the attack as they get into the 18-yard box. And that kick looked like went off of a Ladycat. Corner kick coming up for the Lindale Lady Eagles.
I'll tell you one person they don't take off. They don't.
You haven't seen Daughtry hit the bench too much?
She doesn't leave the field. They don't take her off the field.
Kayla Daughtry. Well, you know, yeah, the Ladycats have had several in that category. In fact, Joel
hasn't done too many subs.
He has not put a lot of subs in there. He's played kind of a base group here tonight.
I think Jackie was the first sub, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems like that's about right.
I think she was the only sub.
And here's the corner kick by Lindale. And it's headed, the Ladycats got a good defensive player. Oh, it did it twice. I think that was Allie Stevens. Allie Stevens kicked it and blocked it again. Now, she's well out of the goal that time, but she kicked the ball and blocked the ball. She was right in front of the goal. And somebody came up and gave her a big hug or something.
You know, you were talking about you don't want to be the one that's making the mistake. Those are the kind of moments right there where you're just lucky that you got out.
Senior play right there.
Yep.
And I think that was Ashley Noe came up and just said, wow, girl, that was amazing.
Yeah.
So the player of the game right now, Allie Stevens, with those blocks. And now Lindale kicks it toward the middle of the field. The Ladycats intercept, though. There's Jackie Esparza. And works to a teammate, Caitlin Robinson. Lindale get it right back, though, and they're on the attack. Lindale kind of supercharged here in these last few minutes. They're beginning to turn up the heat. Comes over toward Arrington. Oh, she kicked it for a teammate and intercepted, but taken away by from Malone. And there's a kick up the field by Noe. But once again, on the attack, Lindale, and they'll kick, but off of a Ladycat. Goes out to the side. And Lindale will kick, but not much toward the goal on that one. It'll roll all the way across the end line. Goal kick for the Ladycats at 9:32. Huge saves by the captain there a while ago, Allie Stevens.
Yeah, double save, one on the line, and then kind of another one right on the line.
Yeah, one kick and one block.
Yeah.
And there's a kick out of there by Gamble. Noe with the ball. We'll find Arrington. And Arrington down the field toward Yamaguchi. Broken up, though. And a nice pass by Lindale as they get on the attack real quick. They'll kick back. A player maneuvering in there. And will kick toward the goal on a couple of hops. It's kind of a difficult-looking play there. Emma Bosworth did that. And there's a kick out of the goal there by Gamble. Down to the feet of Yamaguchi, over to Hudgens. Hudgens got it back and kicked it to the midline. All of a sudden, Lindale's looking better offensively. It's like they've discovered something or something has happened, but the Ladycats have been up to the task. Down toward Yamaguchi, back toward Hudgens.
All those rotations.
Kick down the field. Here's a race for the ball. The Ladycats, it's going to be played as a position player, but back to Bailey Arrington. Arrington moving in. Will kick toward the middle. It's right out in front. And there's nobody coming in from that side. Ladycats chasing and then knocked out of bounds by Lindale. It'll be a throw in for the Ladycats. Under 8 to play here in the second half. Ladycats just throw it in short pass and send it toward the middle toward Yamaguchi, but taken away. Yamaguchi got bowled over there and went uncalled, so here comes Lindale out of the defensive end. And they're maneuvering in. Olvera back there on defense for the Ladycats. And Lindale maneuvering in. That's Kayla Daughtry. And stretching out for that Gamble. And there was Lindale players around that were looking for a rebound there. And now Lindale back on the attack. They'll kick to the middle. There's Kayla Daughtry again. Sends it further down the field. Olvera will get there first. And it squirts across the far touchline. Throw in for Lindale. At 7 minutes left here in the second half. Throw in for the Lady Eagles, headed by the Ladycats on that far touchline. Ball into that box, and Olvera blasted out of there. And Lindale back on the attack. And they get a strong shot. Gamble knocked it down, but left a big fat rebound there, but to the side. And the Lindale player kicks it, trying to find somebody on the doorstep. And the kick just missed the post for the Lady Eagles. That was Sophia Ray. Hard to read my handwriting normally, much less in the gloaming here. In fact, gloaming left 30 minutes ago. It's just dark now. Kick from the...
I'll tell you what, that was a great save by McKenna Gamble. I mean, that really keeps us in the game. You don't want to make the mistake with 6 minutes left in the match.
Indeed. Here's Lindale back on the attack as they try to open up for another shot. They punch it down into the box. Olvera's back there, and she'll send it across the far touchline to kind of get the Ladycats to set their defense, and Lindale will have a throw in here at 5:37. Eagles have kind of turned up, Lady Eagles turned up the heat a little bit, and they've been applying more pressure. Later moving in, here's a kick off of a Ladycat. McCormick, I believe, kicks it up the field. That's
there you go,
Caitlin Robinson.
Oh.
Maneuvering down the field, continuing to maneuver, moving right through players like a butter through the knife, but or the knife through the butter, would you believe? And the Ladycats get it back, Yamaguchi, and they'll send it down the field. Whistle blows, offside on the Ladycats. Under 5 to play now at 4:56, and a free kick for the Lady Eagles after the offside. 0-0 here from Gerald Prim Stadium. Beginning to feel a lot like overtime.
Yep.
That famous
you jinxed us.
tune. Ladycats, Noe's got it back there.
There you go.
Trying to maneuver around players down the field, but Lindale with a thundering kick, and they'll chase. Cameron Malone, I think, is that player. They got by Gamble, but the Ladycats directed it to the side and continued to do that to get it out of harm's way. Very nice play with that young lady. And there's a kick right out in front, and Gamble intercepted it with a Lindale player right on the doorstep. Right on in the goal mouth there that was ready to put that ball in the net. Ball comes up to the midline, and Lindale kicks it into the Ladycats' end. Lindale with a header. Player maneuvering in, but broken up. But another one kicks toward the goal, and Gamble will take this on one big hop right in front of a charging Lady Eagle there. There's 3:44 left here in the second half, and we're 0-0. Lindale trying to get it and go, but comes down to Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi turns on the speed across the midline, continuing to work there, and then she kicks to the middle, intercepted by Lindale. They'll kick it down the field. Lindale player trying to keep it in bounds. Looks like she will. Has got Allie Stevens playing defense on her. Kicks toward a teammate, went off of her. That's Ray. Little bumping going on there. Ball to the middle. Again, the officials just letting all that stuff go. Nothing of an extreme nature, in their opinion. And there's a kick out of there by Noe. It's on the far side. 2:55 left here in regulation. We're 0-0. And now there's a shot on goal, a one hopper for that Kayla Daughtry. And goal kick for Gamble. And she punts this one and takes a nice bounce into Lindale territory. Settled down there by Keeley Hudgens. Keeley's got it with a little time and space. Finds Arrington to the right side. See if Arrington just, it crept across the yellow line. As she was trying to keep that in bounds there, but that ball seemed bound and determined to get across that in line. 2:15 all that's left here in regulation. Going to take a lightning goal now, the one that would just shock everybody in these final 2 minutes here. Ball into Hudgens. Keeley Hudgens kicks toward the goal. Got a player moving in there. Robinson, just couldn't quite get to the ball. The keeper getting there and saying, it's nice to use your hands. Has got there first.
Great chance for us there.
Ladycats get it back. Hudgens
Yep, still
will send it down toward Bailey Arrington, but the Lindale defense will get there first, and they will roll it and across the near touchline it goes.
Okay, still some time, minute and a half. Be smart and take a chance or two left in the game.
Keely Hudgens will go ahead and throw this one in to kind of speed things along, and here in the last minute or so, the Ladycats kick toward the middle. They've got a player there trying to settle it down. There's a kick toward the goal. And knocked down by the Lindale keeper. Just not enough oomph on that shot, allowing the keeper to get over and now kick it out of there. 1:12 left here in the second half. Stevens works the far side. And here come the Lady Eagles on the attack. But the Ladycats defense gets there first. They break it up. They get it over to Allie Stevens. 54 seconds left to play here. That's Keely Hudgens. Ball taken away by Lindale. They'll kick down the field into the Ladycats defense. And the ball kicked to the near touchline. Allie Stevens knocked across the touchline. Throw in Ladycats. Allie Stevens will take that with 35 seconds, all that's left here in regulation. And we're 0-0. Lindale trying to get it and do something with it. Yamaguchi chasing the ball. And Yamaguchi giving out a few bumps there. Ball comes over and kicked down the field for the Ladycats. Broken up, though, by Lindale. They kick to the far side, and whistle blows with 13 seconds left. And looks like we may see a card here. Yes, a yellow card was given with...
given to Haley Robinson.
To Haley Robinson.
I kind of thought it was the other way around, but that's fine.
And Jackie Esparza will come out for her as there's a kick.
Ref.
Lindale has a player moving in now and kicked, and Gamble got a hand on it and directed it to the side of the goal with 5 seconds left on the clock, and there's 0-0 before Lindale can get off the corner kick. The Ladycats almost got victimized in the last 10 seconds there. Actually, 5 was on that clock when Gamble got hands on that. It looked like Lindale had some players breaking in.
And you see Joel walking onto the field. He's a little agitated. The ref is supposed to stop the game when a yellow card happens, and the yellow carded player has to come off. And I think that's what Joel's coming to say is, hey,
he never had a chance to come off. They put the ball in play.
You shouldn't have let them play the ball because that should have been you should have made the player come off. And I think he's a little angry. They could have lost the game right there when that would have been bad officiating.
Oh, man. I think it might have been last year on one of Nikki's teams. I think they gave up a goal with 2 or 3 seconds left.
Yeah.
And that's a killer, and especially to lose a 1-0 game.
Yeah, especially to lose in that way. A technicality, pretty much.
Where Joel Bailey felt, obviously rightly so, that just was kind of weird the way that took place. We've got a break here. Let's take the break here. We're going to head into overtime. That'll be 2 10-minute halves is the way I remember it. And we're tied at 0-0. The Lady Eagles of Lindale and the Ladycats of Sulphur Springs, and nobody has been able to put that ball in the net so far. Let's take a break here, and we'll come back in a moment. Well, James Terry with the jolly news that we're down to 39 degrees with a chill factor of 34. I think there's a 7-mile-an-hour wind out there. Certainly not stirring our flag on the flagpole there. It's wrapped all around there with, looks like it's pretty dead. But down on the field, if we could, well, I don't know. I don't see flags moving down on the field either too much. So anyway, I don't know where that 7-mile-an-hour is. I guess out at the airport or wherever they're recording those stats. But we're just about ready for our first overtime period. There will be 2. But you can win after 1, right, Coach?
You have to play the full 2.
Have to play the full 2.
You got to play the full 2. It's not no golden goal or anything crazy like that.
Yeah, it's not, and I found out real quick that it's not sudden death. First time we did an overtime, and I think Highland Park or somebody like that scored on us, and I tried to bury Andy Holt's team, and they just wouldn't be buried.
Yeah,
they had all kinds. They had lots of lives there as they have to play like Lexi said, all of the overtime, and which is And a lot of people say double overtime when it is just simply overtime. Overtime is 2 halves. And so that's a common made mistake, and I'm sure it's one I've made in the past as well, trying to learn my way through soccer here.
Yeah, two 20-minute, two 10-minute halves. Got to play the full thing, and if you're the Wildcats now, just focus in. Don't make, like you said earlier in the game, don't make that crucial mistake that's going to cost you. And then just got to finish our chances. We probably had a good, God, I don't even know, 10 to 15, maybe 20 chances, and just we haven't put it away for her.
Sure, a lot more chances in the first half, though, in the second half. I thought Lindale
kind of got a little more speed and steam going for them.
They cleaned up a lot of stuff, looked like. And Ladycats will start with possession of the ball. They send it over to Bailey Arrington. The teams are heading in the same direction that they were in for the second half. And Lindale on the attack. There's Kayla Daughtry. She's been a big force here for a person not scoring a goal. She has a large presence out there. Lindale takes the ball away. This is Ramirez, and broken up by the Ladycats. They try to get out of their own end to get it up near the midline. Lindale just continuing to put on the pressure. Ball comes down to Haley Robinson. No, that's Keely Hudgens, excuse me, down toward Haley Robinson. And now Keely mixing it in there again, and here she comes. Tried to get it past the defender. Was blocked, but Keely just stays with it. Now Yamaguchi comes up and chips the ball down the field. Arrington, good back checking there for the Ladycats. Daughtry has it. Kayla Daughtry.
Good.
And will kick the ball down the field. And the Ladycats have it. But now Lindale, and once again, they are really putting on the pressure. Back to Ramirez in the center. Find somebody trying to take a shot there, and that was partially blocked. That was Emma Bosworth. And corner kick for the Lady Eagles. Coming down to take that will be Emily Davis. 8:30 left in the first half of overtime, 0-0. Not a goal in this one, in the first or the second half, and so now we're in overtime. And a corner kick with Davis taking that for Lindale early in the first overtime. And here's the corner kick, and it's going to go right across the goal mouth and then all the way into the other corner. Lindale still has it. They settle it down. Here's a kick toward the middle. A player angling in, but could not get an angle on the ball. Chasing it down and unable to keep it in bounds. Goal kick for the Ladycats at 7:46. Yeah, the Ladycats have been a while since they've generated much in the way of offense, as Lindale has just kind of hit the recharge button, and they have really been putting on the heat. You hate to see that, because eventually you would think you get rewarded for that kind of dominance.
Absolutely.
And here's a kick down the field, back into the Ladycats defense. McCormick back there, over to Stevens. Allie Stevens off of Lindale player. I thought she was going to do a good job of keeping that in bounds, but then lost it out of bounds. Throw in Stevens and the Ladycats.
I know Joel doesn't sub a lot, but this might be a chance for him to bring some energy in. Great run by Haley.
Yeah, Haley Robinson in. Haley moving in, trying to open up for a shot, but the defense just would not let her do it, and now they'll kick across the near touchline. Throw in for the Ladycats, and Haley's just going to throw this in to kind of, well, or is she? Yes, she will now, so throw it in to speed things up. But Lindale gets out in front of it. And that ball will roll across the touchline and stop that Lindale charge. And Stevens will go back to throw in for the Ladycats. I bet Stevens doesn't even know it's cold right now. She is really, just like a lot of those players from both teams, very, very focused in what's going on the field. As Lindale tries to come out of there with it. Keely Hudgens moving it down the field. Blocked back to Noe. Ashley Noe. And Noe weaving through players trying to open up for a shot. Noe continues to maneuver. Got it to a teammate. Comes back to Ashley. She settles it down in the kick, but it's going to be a one hopper into the keeper. And a kick out of the goal for the Lindale keeper. She keeps it low as she usually does, and it comes down to Yamaguchi. And she kicks over to Arrington, who's sent the ball out in front of her and now chases it. And Arrington, with a lot of speed, kicks to the middle, and there's a shot on the goal. It was fumbled out of there, but Lindale's defense is there, and they again will clean it up and kick it across the near touchline. Ladycats throw in, 5:30 left in overtime number 1. Now they'll let Stevens come down here and throw in for the Ladycats. We're in the first half of overtime, and we're 0-0. Throw in by Allie Stevens. Ball into Arrington, taken away though and kicked out of there. Ladycats chasing, and Noe got it back to one of her defensive teammates there. McCormick, I believe that is her. And now McCormick with the ball again, moving up near the midline for the Ladycats. Kicked it down to Haley Robinson.
There you go, Haley.
Robinson trying to get loose there, and a whistle blows.
Terrible.
And foul on Lindale. And so 45 yards away here, Allie Stevens between the hash and the sideline. And Stevens kicks to the edge of the 18-yard box. Lindale gets it out of there and kicks it right back towards Stevens. She settles it down and will kick, went off of, looked like Arrington's head, and taken though by Lindale. Arrington trying to shake that off there. And nice play by Yamaguchi, but kicks it further down. But Lindale passes around Robinson there, but they kicked it right to Ashley Noe. And Ashley kicks it down there, and it'll take a couple of hops into the keeper. 4 minutes now left in overtime, 0-0. And the kick out of there. Ladycats now kind of turning on the offense. They've looked good for a couple of minutes here, as they were kind of dormant for a while, but they've found their offense again and are beginning to try to make some things happen here. And a kick into the Lindale end. Caitlin Robinson chasing there and kicked up the field. Yamaguchi's got it. She goes around a couple of players and kicks with a left foot. The Ladycats are chasing. They've got a player in there open, and here's the kick right at the keeper. Oh, it looked like a good chance. Keely Hudgens again that time, and taken though by the keeper. And here's a header by Ashley Noe. Ball up near the midline to Arrington. Arrington kicks it down the field. And once again, Haley Robinson. Robinson always draws a crowd. Oh, some nice footwork as Robinson moves in, sends it down to Arrington. Arrington with a kick right at the keeper. Tried to lift it over, looked like, and just didn't get it quite up high enough.
You know, you're talking about looking good for a couple minutes. You know, soccer and basketball are so similar. You know, I talk to Sip all the time. It's just like making runs in basketball. You know, going on a 10-point run or a 12-point run.
Right now, the Ladycats are on a run, but unfortunately for both teams, when they've had runs, they have not been able to put the ball in the net. And Lindale now forcing the issue a little bit. As they've got, I believe that's Cameron Malone with the ball. A lot of grabbing kind of going on there. The ball goes across the near touch line.
A lot of scrappiness going on right now.
Yeah, it shows these players want this, and nothing out of the ordinary though. You don't see anybody throwing anybody to the ground, or any kind of elbows or any of that kind of stuff. It's been clean stuff, but very, very physical at the same time. Lindale kicks the ball over to Kaylee Doherty. Kicks it down the field. Lindale player fell. If she could have stayed upright, she could have been a force there. Now Yamaguchi on the fly, goes across the midline, moving rapidly. Kicks it over to a teammate, comes back to Ashley Noe, and Noe will kick it down the field. Haley Robinson turns and runs along with Arrington, but Lindale will get there first, and defender finds a teammate with some nice passing out of the defensive end, but Yamaguchi intercepts, and she kicks the ball down the field. Haley Robinson turns and runs. Haley will kick toward the goal. A goal for the Ladycats. Haley Robinson, 1 minute to play in the first half of overtime.
Yeah, we talked about finishing chances. You got to finish those chances, and she finally did. Finally put one in the back of the net.
And what a great pass was that Yamaguchi.
Yes.
That she had such a good assist there for kicking that ball deep and allowing Haley to turn and run and get there first. And then Haley did the rest with a very nice finish. She's probably the best finisher on the Ladycats team if I had to make that judgment. And Lindale trying to get one right back here as they go to the attack. They've got players trying to get shots off in the middle, but blocked by the Ladycats. But Kayla Daughtry still has it, but she's out about 45 yards. And now the Ladycats step up and block the ball, and being blocked by both sides now. And now the Ladycats kick it out of there up near the midline to Keely Hudgens. And Ladycats would really like to put the topper on it with a second goal here.
Yep, absolutely.
There's just 9 seconds left in the first overtime, so both teams will get a little bit more rest in the second overtime. There's a kick, and they're triple zeros for the first half of overtime. And the Ladycats have a 1-0 lead, as we will get, again, a 5-minute break. And after that, we'll come back with the second half of overtime. But the Ladycats have struck first here, and that means a lot. That means a lot. The first goal in a scoreless match. It's gone scoreless this long, and that is a big thing. What a great goal by Haley Robinson on a great assist by Yamaguchi. Kicked that deep kick, and Haley was able to turn and run and beat everybody down toward the goal, and then put a great shot. We could see it from this angle so well. Yeah,
the angle here was beautiful. I mean, we finally put away some chances. Finally took our opportunity there.
Well, I hear you up here. I bet Joel does the same thing. you know, when he sees that ball kick, sometime he thinks, here it is. You know, this is going to be, and then sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So. Let's take another break here. We'll come back with the start of the second half of overtime as we've played regulation and half of overtime. The Ladycats leading 1-0 over Lindale. More to come. Let's take a break. Back in a moment. We're getting ready for the second half of overtime. The Ladycats are leading Lindale by the score of 1-0. Haley Robinson a goal at the 1-minute mark of the first half of overtime. Coach, you're ahead 1-0. Do you keep attacking, or do you go back and kind of play defense and just, try to keep everybody back? And, and then if you do that, you're probably going to be like taking on 40 or 50 shots. Yeah,
I agree with you. You don't want to do too much of one or too much of the other.
Yeah.
You want to kind of keep everything in front of you defensively and not give them a lot of chances. But at the same time, you do want to get forward, and you do want to try to grab a second. Because if you can grab a second, then you're going to feel real comfortable by yourself.
Right.
But, like I said, just like basketball and just like me and Sip talk all the time, and soccer's kind of the same thing. It really is a game of runs, and it's good to see at the end of their run they capitalized and got a goal.
Yeah.
Because that's the big moments right there when you can finally get some end product for all your hard work that you've been doing. So.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've seen, where you see a team all of a sudden just pressure on, and the ultimate result of that is a goal at some point. If you don't get that goal, it's just one of those unlucky nights when you just hit the post 10 times and, you just can't score, or the player does like Allie Stevens did and just stands right there and kicks it out of the goal or keep it from going in, or blocks it out of the goal. Yeah. She did that back-to-back down there. That was huge plays defensively.
Yeah.
And I know we'll talk to Joel about, because that was the ball game really right there. It could have been 1-0, and these overtimes would have never happened. 15
seconds left, and the ref should have stopped them play. And
oh my!
And McKenna Gamble makes an incredible save to keep them in the game with about 6-7 seconds left.
Absolutely, yeah. That shot was dead on, and she made a great save to really keep that out of the goal, because that player was in on the goal all by herself, and just had the shot to make, and great defensive play.
Yeah, there's been some moments, and thankfully the Cats are in this game. They're up 1-0, and now they just need to be smart with this last 10 minutes.
The teams have changed ends of the field as we start this second half of overtime. The Ladycats leading 1-0, and Ladycats right now have the ball, and they move it across the midline to Keely Hudgens, Ball kicked around, and now Lindale's got it, and they're on the attack. They find Kayla Daughtry, taken away from her, and sent down the field for the Lady Cats. Ooh, Haley Robinson got taken off her feet there, and will draw that foul. Glad to see she didn't stretch something too much or something.
Yeah,
like some of those plays you see, and you wonder.
Scares you.
Yeah, how players can shake all that stuff off, but luckily no harm, no foul there. Good kick by Harden. Goes off of Caitlin Robinson, or Haley Robinson, excuse me. And here comes Ramirez and Lindale, and she finds Kayla Daughtry. Intercepted Lady Cats, and comes down to Haley Robinson. Look at that footwork. Back to Ashley Noe. And Noe kicks it up the field. Header by Lindale off of Noe. And back into the Lady Cats defense goes over to Stevens. And Stevens along that far touchline. Kicked off of a Lindale player there, and she'll kick it down the field. Lindale player trying to come in from the left side of the box. Pretty well guarded by Stevens over there. And Lindale had it in the middle, then they went back to the side, just kept it in bounds. And they'll kick toward the goal off of a Lady Cat. And the Lady Cats have it deep in their own end, and they'll kick it along the touchline. Right on that touchline there. They kept it in bounds. Good kick by Yamaguchi. And she got to it again and gets it over to Haley Robinson. She dragged it a little bit, and then the players collide and fall. And now Lindale kicks it back into their offensive end. Lady Cats break that up. And now Lindale will kick it deep again and send it to the right side. There's nobody home over there for Lindale, and it goes across the touchline. Throw in for the Lady Cats at 7:50 in the second half of overtime. Lady Cats leading 1-0. Lady Cats kick it up the field to Haley Robinson. And Haley tried to send Keely Hudgens, but it was blocked by Lindale, and they'll kick it deep. All of a sudden, Lindale has started kicking the ball deep.
Mm-hmm. They're trying to get forward. They're trying to get some goals, some chances.
Yeah, just trying to see if they can't get somebody on the end of it.
Yeah, caught a little bit of a grab there, I guess.
Foul on the Lady Cats out about 40 yards, almost to the hash mark. This is not a bad angle at all for Lindale.
Cover up, make sure you're marking somebody.
And the kick will head toward the left. The Lady Cats get it out of there. Yamaguchi with a nice kick. And the Lady Cats are breaking, and they've got Keely Hudgens. She appears to be onside. Keely Hudgens moving in on the keeper. Keely moving in. This ought to be. Yes. Oh, goal by Keely Hudgens at 6:51. Oh, Keely played that very, very well for the Lady Cats. 6:51 in the second overtime.
Oh.
For Keely Hudgens, the Lady Cats are up 2-0. They've not put it on the board yet. Yes, now they do. Sorry about that. Coach Neal, a lot to do next door, I guess. A lot of things to take care of there. Lady Cats 2-0 now. Goals by Haley Robinson and Keely Hudgens. 6:43 left in the second overtime. There's the ball headed back toward Gamble. Got to be alert out there as a keeper. You never know when that ball's going to come your way.
You just feel so good for the Cats, for the Lady Cats, and just, all those chances, and, to be ahead and take care of those chances is just a really great feeling.
And Lindale wants 2 quick ones here. That's what they're going to need, 2 in 6 minutes. And the Lady Cats are now Joel may find the substitution. That's always a good killer.
Makes you
time.
Yeah. Now, exactly like you said. Now, you don't want to be, dirty or waste any time, getting unnecessary yellow cards or anything like that. But you do want to try to slow some time and take some time off clock and really just kind of play the time away till it's over.
And Jackie Esparza is back in there. We've seen her several times tonight. Mm-hmm. Here's a throw in for the Lady Cats. 5:46 left in the second half of overtime. The Lady Cats have scored a goal in each overtime period, each overtime half, and they lead 2-0. Ball over to Caitlin Robinson, and down to Lady Cat down there. Kick toward the goal. right on the goal there, but the keeper comes up with it, and she'll kick it out of there with 5:19 left. Lady Cats leading 2-0 here.
Oh, great touch, Yamaguchi.
Yamaguchi, I think she's had a really good ball game.
Yeah.
And gets the ball down the field toward the middle to Jackie Esparza. That was broken up. And now ball will come to the midline here. Keely Hudgens had it, but taken by Kayla Daughtry. And she moves the ball down the field. She's a nice, tall young lady, and
she's tall
and awfully good at making things happen out there for this Lady Eagles team. And Lindale on the attack. One thing, I guess, as Lady Cats, you want to kind of keep that clock moving, but you don't want to give up an easy one here. Ball on the near touchline. I always say at this point, like in basketball, as you mentioned, make them work. Don't give anything easy.
Yep.
And to make it as hard as possible, that usually has a good result. The ball will come across the near touchline, throw in for Lindale deep in the Lady Cats territory. 4:12 left here in the second half of overtime.
You were talking earlier about, do you want to sit back or do you want to score goals? Well, you know what? Now you've scored the goals, so now you do want to sit back. If you're the Lady Cats now, you kind of do want to just maybe sit back and just kind of see out 4 minutes.
But very defensively.
Yeah. They call it park the bus. Park the bus in soccer. You want to park the bus right here and just sit and clear things like that.
Yeah, you get a chance to kick it, see how far you can kick it.
Yep.
And just send it deep into the other team's territory. Went right through a young lady's legs. That was Olvera down there, but she got the ball back and made a nice kick on it. Comes over to Allie Stevens. Down the field it goes toward Arrington. I think Arrington's had a good game tonight. Well, they're kind of hanging on each other, and the official calls that. And a foul on the Lady Cats, so Lindale about 15 yards in their own territory from the midline. Chips it down into Lady Cat territory. Yamaguchi with a kick. Got Keely Hudgens again racing down the field and getting to the ball first. Keely, can she get a second one here? She tries to move open for a shot, but again, gives it back to Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi with a left-footed kick. It's high in the air and right out in front. There's a couldn't be headed down. Yamaguchi headed back in there, but knocked out of bounds by Lindale. Be a Lady Cat throw in, and now Brooke Harden will do the 40-yard dash. Those throw-in players must work on their sprinting. And there's a throw-in by Brooke Harden. And comes back to Brooke, a left-footed kick. It's right out in front. Lindale directs it to the side. We have 2:18, all that's left here, and the Lady Cats kind of doing exactly what we said that we didn't think they'd do. They're putting on the heat here with a 2-0 lead, and that's a good way to expend a lot of time. Now there's a good defensive play by Olvera, and now the ball comes to the near side here to Brooke Harden. And Brooke up to, skipped by Yamaguchi, but that's okay. 1:53 left to play in the second overtime period. It's going to be a happy and cold bunch of Lady Cats. I hope they get very warm and get out of this cold as soon as they can and warm up, because they've been out there in this cold for a long time, especially in this second part of the game. Lady Cats moving in. Here's a kick toward the keeper, and she gobbles that one up. 1:26, all that's left here in the second half of overtime. Lady Cats have scored a goal in each overtime half. And player maneuvering in, a kick toward the middle, and just chipped it past the post. Boy, a real opportunity there for the Lady Cats. And Jackie Esparza, I guess. I remember early in the season when she scored a goal. And so she would have liked to have had another. She just missed on that one. She'll be thinking, doggone it. I could have had one. 48 seconds left here, and the Lady Cats continue to go out in style here with really putting on the pressure.
Yeah, forget the sit back. They're definitely getting some chances in the last couple of minutes. Here's another one.
I wonder how much of that is, kind of you begin to hang your head a little bit. You're down 2-0, and you kind of can see the end, and it's discouraging. And so maybe there's part of that factored in. We just have 20 seconds, all that's left here. As a kick out of the goal there. Ooh, went right off of one of the Ladycats there.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, Lindale, they gave a real good game, and, you know, just towards the end, they get scored on, and they kind of just died out.
Just 5 seconds left, and this one's going to end with the Ladycats picking up a 2-0 win. And congratulations to the Ladycats of Sulphur Springs and Joel Bailey for 2 excellent wins. It was in the first half when they were playing all those road games, and they started off with that miserable loss in Greenville and another miserable loss in Lindale, and the next thing you know, the Ladycats are 0-2. But now they've turned the tables here in the second half, and
officially puts them in 3rd place right now. So
yeah, so all of a sudden, you know, from well, I won't say to the penthouse anyway.
Yeah,
we won't tell you where they came from.
Not quite the penthouse, but you know, it puts them in a nice house and gets them in 3rd place and gets them kind of right where they want to be. So.
Yeah, that's
you don't want to play Hallsville in the first round. So they match up with the other East Texas, and you don't want to play Lady Hallsville.
Oh no,
yeah, they're very, very good. They go about 4 or 5 rounds every year. So
yeah, we've had those as a district opponent, and they've been miserable to be in the same district with. In fact, the seniors always measure their careers by how many times they beat Hallsville, and most of them it's 1 and 2, if they even can say that. But, because it is such a rare feat. Unlike the Wildcats now, on the other hand, they've gone in there 3 or 4 years where they even were in Hallsville, and Hallsville had to win. The winner was in, the loser was out. And lo and behold, the Ladycats, so all of a sudden we've gone dark here. So I guess that's the cue here up in the press box where they can never get out of here quick enough. That we've said enough here, Alexi, and your final thoughts on the game.
Really great game. You know, we were talking about runs, and we're talking about, don't be the team that makes that bad mistake. You know, the Cats played really well. They didn't make that bad mistake, and, they finished their chances when they had them, and that was a really great job by Joel Bailey's group. Really proud of them.
And once again, recapping the scoring at 1 minute of the first half of overtime, Haley Robinson with a goal, and at 6:51 in the second half of overtime, Keely Hudgens with a goal. Ladycats win 2-0, and a big win for the Ladycats. And as Coach Upton said, puts them in 3rd place, and that is great news for Joel Bailey's crew. There's some tough teams coming up, and no doubt about it. But they have played so well after kind of getting off to a bad start, and so congratulations to them. And let's go ahead and wrap it up. James Terry running spots back at the station. Doug Haston shooting video, at least until the curtain came down here tonight. And Alexi Upton, we appreciate him. Always, Coach. Always glad to have you alongside. I'm Don Julian with your play-by-play. Once again here from Gerald Prim Stadium, our final score, the Ladycats of Sulphur Springs 2 and the Lindale Lady Eagles 0. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and so long, everybody.
Thank you, guys. You've been listening to Ladycats Soccer on KSST 1230 AM, your official Wildcat and Ladycat station. Back to good time oldies after this message from UIL.